Kathy here. Today I'm bringing you another review. Seems like I've been doing lots of reviews lately. Guess I've been trying out all the new products that I've purchased over the last few months. So today I'm actually going to be reviewing an Australian product from basically one of the only Australian sort of specialised cosmetics companies, and that is the Australis. And I'm reviewing the Paparazzi Perfect High Definition Foundation. So I'm pretty sure this foundation only came out probably a year ago, maybe even less than that. Their Paparazzi Perfect line is all of their HD sort of higher end products, I suppose. So they've got their powders, their primers, the foundations, some eyeshadows, etc. So I got the colour Neutral Beige, which actually turned out to be a little too dark for me, but it wasn't too bad because I could just sort of work it down my neck and blend it out a little bit, and it looked okay. Just looked like I was slightly more tanned than I was normally. So it reads, flawless smooth finish in any light, colour balancing to always suit complexion, light reflecting to blur skin imperfections, SPF 15. It was obvious when I picked this up that they modelled their the idea of something like the Makeup Forever HD foundation. You get 28 mils, and I think from memory there were 6 colours. I might check it up. Anyway, I'll put how much it was below. But in terms of the bottle, it's just a normal pump action, nothing special. In terms of the actual product, I had hoped for a matte finish. It's not. I have very oily skin, and this did nothing to mattify that. If anything, it felt a bit like rubbing something quite greasy on my skin. So I was not overly happy with the feel of it. Because of that, I'm not likely to repurchase this because I just don't like the feel of it on my skin. I have to apply so much powder to mattify it, and it doesn't control any form of oil. So I am wearing it right now, and you can probably see I've got massive shine across my forehead and down my T-zone, etc. So it's the end of the day, so it's been on for a while, but it's quite gross. Don't like it very much. In terms of coverage, it's very good. I had no complaints about its coverage. You can use it quite sheer, and so if you just dab a little bit on the back of your hand and blend it in very lightly, it can give you a nice light coverage, just to evens out all your complexion, and it does do that. They are correct about that. And then if you add your layers, you obviously can build it up to a full coverage foundation. So I had no complaints about its coverage. So in that, it was very good. In terms of it being HD foundation, essentially that means that you can use it in photography that's for HD, so for things like formals and weddings and that sort of stuff. And basically that main goal is to, when a photo is taken of you, you're not going to be appeared washed out and white. Generally that's what SPF will do, and mineral foundations have the same problem. I did take some photos with this with a flash, and I did not appear any more white than I do normally, which is good, so I didn't have any problems with that. I will say though, it didn't make me look white, but it didn't look as dark as I am in normal light, if that makes sense. So it did make me appear washed out, but it was not as good as, say, the Makeup Forever HD foundation in terms of still looking completely natural in a photograph. So I'm not sure I would classify this as a full HD foundation, but I could certainly classify it as a full coverage good foundation, if that makes sense. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for oily skin, particularly if you're like me and living in a hot environment. One thing I did notice, particularly when I was sort of in an area where there wasn't a lot of wind, wasn't a lot of fresh air, etc., it did have a tendency to make me sweat more. It feels more sticky. It doesn't feel as light as a lot of other foundations do. So in terms of an overall foundation, I would probably give it 2.5, 3 out of 5. It's got great coverage. If you've got dry skin, then the greasiness won't be a problem. It'll add a bit of moisture and make you look dewy finish. Probably be quite good for a mature age lady actually, because it would genuinely lift up the complexion. But it is quite a heavy foundation. It's not as true reflecting foundation as some others, and it does still make you pale a little bit. And obviously it's quite greasy, so definitely not a recommendation for oilier skins. So do I regret buying this? No, not really, and I will probably continue to use it, but I will only be using it in winter when the air is obviously much drier and it's not going to slide off my face too easily. That being said, I won't be repurchasing this. I'll go and try something else. I might actually try one of their other foundations, maybe one of their powder foundations, which is a bit more mattifying, etc. So yes, that is the Australis Paparazzi Perfect HD Foundation. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. As always, please subscribe. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!